the sense of belonging. Some people die before they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence. Spend our life searching for the sense of belonging. Some people die before they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence.
Anxious earth is rising. Anxious earth is rising. I'm so happy.
We spend our life searching for the sense of belonging. Some people die before they fulfill their desires. Such a waste of existence.
Hey, welcome to the Double Triple channel. Oh shit, my monitor's not too loud. Hang on just a second. This is Double Triple channel. My name is Ron. I live in rural New Hampshire. And I'm surrounded by forests and wild animals. And this is the part of the stream where I do a bunch of technical shit to try to make sure it works properly. First thing I do is I try to make sure everything is in sync. I do that by clapping. Here we go. Ready? That didn't work. I think the sound was too late. Alright, this will take a few minutes. If you're watching on the VOD, just skip ahead of this part. This is where I'm setting up the stream. It's a live stream. Scuff. You know, it's got a lot of problems with it. So, this is the part where we fix the problems before we get going. And the reason I have problems is because my computer. Got an old computer. If I had a new computer, I probably wouldn't have to do this. So, all right, let me try this again here. Check the sync. Ready? All right. You know what? That looked pretty good. So, I think what I'm going to do, the main thing is to make sure that the sound is with my mouth, you know. If that's not matched up, it's kind of irritating. At least it is for me. It probably is for other people too. I'm going to check. Hang on just a second. You know, that looks so close. I think it's okay. All right, so it took me 5 minutes to do all that crap. We got an ad starting, but I think we'll just blow through the ad. I don't know. I normally pause when the ads come on, but maybe we'll blow through it. I don't know. Not sure. Anyway, today, what did I put on my title? Age of Ice. Age of Ice. I'm doing a movie review. All right, it says we're doing an ad. So I guess I'm gonna have to let me turn on the thing that says that ads are playing. There we go. I'm gonna continue to try to get this thing in sync here. Hang on just a second. Okay, ads are playing right now. If you're tuning in, the ads are playing, so I'm waiting for the ads to finish up before I do anything. So, all right. Oh my God, I'm getting raided in the middle of an ad and everything. Hey, welcome Raiders! Welcome Raiders! Hey. Thank you, Chan and Matt. Chan, thank you for rating my stream. I appreciate it. I just got started. I started at 2 in the afternoon setting up for this stream, and I just started it just a few minutes ago. That's how screwed up everything is today. Back from the ads, great. Yeah, I tried to do this ad. I started this this stream at 2 in the afternoon. I started setting up for this. I said, okay, I'll start at 2:30 or 3. Forget it. It took me 5 hours to get my stream started. So, thank you for this. Thank you for the raid. I really appreciate it. Let me give you a shout out. Everybody, give Chan a follow. Oops, wait, it's got to be lowercase, I think. What do I have to say? Chan the Magic Man. I think that'll work. Did that work? No? There, did it. Yeah. Hey. Yeah, everybody follow Chan. Well, there was nobody in this. There was nobody here before you guys raided, so I don't know who I'm shouting out to everybody who came in the raid. Hang on just a second. I have just my speaker. Everybody's already following Chan. I appreciate it. I'm doing a movie review tonight. If I can get to it, I don't know, man. This is having a pretty rough time with my stream tonight. Just getting it started was a big effort. Let me go through chat here. Okay, we got Sydney, we got Peekaboo. Thank you everybody for stopping by. Worked. Nice. Distractions, yeah. I had quite a few distractions. I was trying to get, in movie reviews I like to have clips, And there's two ways that I can do that. I can either edit down a small little file that just has the clips that I want in a one video file, or I can take the whole movie and bookmark the places that I want to go to. And that's what I started out doing was taking the whole movie that I recorded and then bookmarking the parts that I wanted to do. And something messed up on the bookmarking system, and I went through the whole process of finding all of them, and then it wiped them out, and I did it again, and then finally I had to said, okay, I'm going to go to the editor and edit it. So that was like 5 hours ago that I started doing that. And what's really sad is that this movie is a lousy movie that going to review today. It's going to be a roast more than a review, I think. But I end up putting all this time into it. But and I'm going to do, after that, maybe I'll do some, in fact, you know what I should do? I should do that right now. I found some footprints in the snow outside. And it took me a while to figure out what kind of animal it was. So I thought that would be fun. A fun thing to do in the stream is to show folks that picture. I took a picture of it, and then see if you folks can identify what it is. So let me do that right now. Open that up. All right. Let's see here. Hang on just a second while I try to get this thing up. Paint. There we go. Turn that on. Turn that off. Oh, that's not it. Wait, one more thing here. There we go. Hang on just a second. Hang on just a second. There we go. No, that's not it. God damn it. All right, there we go. Can you see that? Let me make it a little bit bigger. See those feet prints in the snow there? Can you see that? Yes. Okay, good. Make it a little bit bigger. So those are feet print that I found in the snow outside. Can you guess what kind of animal that is? Oh, we got a lagger here from the raid. Okay, there we go. Hey, room. How are you, Sydney? Hi. Did I say hello to everybody yet? Yeah, I think I hate everybody. If I didn't say hi in chat, I'll say hi to you. Rabbit, maybe? Yeah, maybe. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on it. All right, let's see here. Is this a zoom? Yeah, there we go. You see that a little bit better? Well, here's the whole context, right? Here's the whole picture, so you can see what's around it. But then when I zoom in, can you see that? A bird, yes, right, peekaboo. It's a bird, and those little things there are the feathers. What happened was in the morning, you know, the bird. I feed the birds. I try to get them as early as I can in the morning, but sometimes I don't, and then they come and they bug me. They come around the house, you know. They tap on the window and they make noises and stuff outside because they want me to get up and go feed them. And so I just, you know, it was a really cold morning, and I felt sorry for them, and I didn't want them to wait, so I like threw some peanuts out the window to them. So they'd have something until I got out there, you know. And that's thing there is where they landed. The peanuts landed in those little holes there, and then it was blue jays went down there and got the peanuts out of the snow. And while they were down there, they made their wing marks in the snow next to it. Feed me, yeah. So that's I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, peekaboo, you got it right away. Very good. Let's see. Lurk. Okay, Chan's lurking. Thank you for the lurk. Chan, thank you for the raid too. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I missed your stream, but I was, you know, I wanted to actually start my stream and raid you or whatever, you know, be done with my stream before you even came on. So thank you for the raid. I really appreciate it. All right, so I thought that was kind of cool. I tried to take some other pictures. God, this morning there was this. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, when the sun kind of makes the snow sparkle, and as you move, the snow just sparkles. I had that on today, this morning, and I went out to take pictures of it, and for some reason the camera wasn't able to pick that up, and I don't know why. But it looks really cool. I'll try again if it ever happens again. It doesn't happen very often, where the temperature's just right, and the snow has been melted just a little bit, and the sun is at the right angle and all that, and you get this it's like little stars almost twinkling in the snow. It's really, really beautiful. Sparkly snow, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It doesn't happen very often, but it's really cool. What we have now, we have a full moon out there. If you live where there's snow and you got a clear night with a full moon, man, that's really cool. You go outside and everything, it's bright. It's almost like daytime in the at midnight. It's pretty cool. All right, so we did that. All right, so let me see if I can get to this review here. The name of the movie is Age of Ice. I thought that was a good. I thought that would be a good one to do right now. And it was made in 2014 and the company that made it is studio that made it is called The Asylum. The Asylum, and what they are is they are kind of like an independent studio. They're independent from the big major studios, and what they do is they try to come out with movies that have the same title or same theme or are similar to big blockbuster movies and release them at the same time, and then try to get people to watch their movie instead of the other one, or in addition to, or by mistake, or whatever. It's just the way they draft off of the marketing of the big studios. The big studios will spend, $50 million or whatever more marketing their movie, just trying to get people to watch it. And these guys will come out with a movie, and they won't market it at all. They'll just pick a title that sounds very similar, and maybe a theme that's very similar to a blockbuster movie. So these are the same guys who did Sharknado. If you're familiar with that film, Sharknado. So they make very low budget movies, and this one today is pretty low. This is a really low budget movie. So let me see if I can get up the. All right, so this is the beginning of the movie. Just to give you a feel for how bad this thing is. This is the very beginning. It has some of the worst editing I've ever seen. So I'll play this, and hopefully you'll be able to hear this clip here.
I'm on ILS glide slip. I love this job.
You are off the glide slope and too slow. Increase your speed and go around. Repeat, go around. Son of a bitch, come on, baby. Work with me. Raider 395, eject, eject. Punching out.
All right, so that was the thing. Did you see how lousy that editing was? He's coming in for a landing, and then all of a sudden he's in a totally different place, and they just totally messed up on the editing on that. First off, when he comes in for the landing, look at this is CG. This is this isn't even a real plane. They have really lousy computer graphics here. But look at this. Look at how fast this plane is coming in. First of all, did you see that? How fast it's coming in?
ILS glide slip. I love this job.
Look at that. And so he comes in, and then he does a flyby, right, instead of landing because something wasn't right. And then all of a sudden he's landing again, or his plane is messed up. It's just totally unclear what's going on just because of the way they did the editing here. They just really messed it up. So I just, what the thing is, what's going on here is as he comes in for a landing here, there's a big there's a right here. Can you see that? There's a big splash that comes out of the ocean as he's coming in. Where is it? There it is. See that big splash that come out of the ocean there? See? And that's supposed to be the whole thing is that the Arab Peninsula, the plate underneath the Arab Peninsula, you know, Earth's crust has plates. Apparently there's a plate that's surrounds the Arab Peninsula. That something's going on with that plate or something, and it's causing the ocean to splash, I guess. I don't know. So that's, and it causes all kinds of other stuff too. Here, we'll play play another clip here. Get through this here. All right, so here's another clip. All right, this is a clip that introduces the protagonist here. First of all, this is supposed to be. They're supposed to be in Egypt. This hotel is actually somewhere in Santa Monica or somewhere. I forget the location they used. It's not in Egypt, but they put the Sphinx and a pyramid in the background of this thing. You know, like, oh yeah, we're supposed to be in Egypt, so they put this stuff in the background. It's pretty funny. And then so here another thing are the acting, right? The acting is just they're hiring these people. You know, I don't know where they get them, but they don't pay them anything at all, hardly.
Hi, honey. I was able to
Let
get
me turn this up a little bit so you can hear it.
terms and found some amazing fertility sculptures that clients are just going to love. How are the pyramids?
Well, the tour guide didn't even mention that the Great Pyramid was once the tallest man-made structure in the world, or that it's the oldest.
Okay, Amber. We don't care.
The pyramids were really something. Weren't they, Dylan?
It's too hot here. Next year, we're going to Tahoe.
Well, I'm starving. How about an early lunch?
Hamburgers. I'm not eating mushed beans again.
You mean hummus, Dylan?
Maybe Amber can move here and be a know-it-all too.
All right, so that pretty much is the extent of the character development in this film for those people. They earlier, you know, this is kind of the 30 seconds or 60 seconds that they use. That's their character development part of it, I guess. That's the protagonist, and then right away, you know, this is basically a disaster film, right? That's what it's about. It's a disaster film. And, you know, the real expensive disaster films, they'll spend a lot of time, you know, in the beginning of the movie, you know, half hour or more, just introducing the characters before the disaster happens. But this one, you know, real soon into the film, they get into the disaster right away. People, so everybody's running around. So that's, you know, did you see that? Okay. Did I get that? Okay. Let me play that again. I don't think I got that right here.
With all tour guide.
Well, go play with your bats.
Here we go. So he comes up and you have an earthquake, right? So that's how it starts. That's how the thing starts. The disaster starts, and then later on, right, they're outside and they find people buried in rubble or whatever. And he rescues this guy.
Shaky, but I'll be fine. Tarek, Jack.
Oh my God, Jack! Jack!
All right, and the guy thanks him, and you know, everything. So that was, you know, that guy that he rescued turns out to be, kind of joins their group, and then they go through their whole adventure in this disaster. Him, that the guy that they rescued along with the family, and they pick up more and more people along the way through this whole thing. Let's play another clip here real quick. This is probably going to be a short stream because it's starting to get pretty cold in here. Oh, this is funny. Let me set this up for you. This is later on. So one of the side effects of this disaster is that it causes it to snow in Egypt. That's part of the disaster. It snows in Egypt and all over the Arab Peninsula apparently, and so they are in the snow. And this guy apparently, we don't know at this point what the deal is, but he has connections. Turns out he is the son of the Minister of Defense of Jordan, which is supposed to be a big deal, I guess. I don't know. Peekaboo says, snow worries. Yeah, they had snow worries there, especially in Egypt. Not a lot of snow plows around in Egypt to handle the snow. So watch what this guy does now. What it is, he has connections. So he had his father or somebody calling an AC-130 plane. It's a huge aircraft, and the plane has to land, and so he has to set up lights so the plane can see where to land. Look how he sets up the lights. Watch this.
Turn on the flashlights on your phone and give them to me. Come on. Here they are! Everyone back!
Why? It's just a pickup.
All right, so that's how he threw some cell phones on. He threw some cell phones out in the snow, and that's how the plane was able to see it coming to land. Right? And the movie is full. Some of the stuff I think they do intentionally. They know that it's stupid, and they just put it in there just for fun. But some of it is just, mistakes or whatever. This one they probably did it just for fun. But anyway, so they get on the plane, and so it's an AC-130, and then they show the interior, and that's not an AC-130. It's something else. They went to, the producers of this film went to an air museum and I think just used some of their exhibits there or something for the plane. Anyway, and it has windows, and it's funny the way they have this thing set up. And look at how wide it is here. One AC-130 is huge. I mean, they drive Jeep, whole vehicles into it, trucks and everything onto the airplane. So this is too small, But then it gets even smaller here. Look.
Everyone, get out as fast as you can.
Come on.
The ice beneath us is breaking from the weight of the plane.
There you go. Look at how narrow that is. I mean, that's smaller than like a jumbo jet or something, or just a passenger plane or anything. It's really, so I don't know what they were doing there.
Watch out.
Shrinking, incredible shrinking plane. Yeah. So they get out of the plane. What's in here? Okay, for that, use CG through the cracks in the ice from the plane. In fact, the whole plane, I think, is CG. There it is. It just looks so phony. And notice how, the plane is phony. The cracks are phony. They're just drawn in there. Peekaboo, I'm sure you could do much better than this, really nice. Now, so they're running away from the plane. Now, this plane, right, they got on the plane, they flew, and it crashed in some deserted area somewhere, right? There, you got it, Peekaboo, exactly. That's what I was going to say. They're way out in the middle of nowhere with freshly fallen snow, And there are tracks all over the place. And the reason why there are tracks is because this is like take number 8 or whatever, right? Running from the plane. You know, somebody tripped or whatever. They had to shoot it again, and they shoot it. You know, this is like the 5th or 6th or 8th time or whatever they've done this scene, and they have their footprints from the earlier takes already in the snow. So they don't care. It's funny. Yeah. So it's, and the whole movie is like that. I'm just showing you a few of these things in here, but it's like almost every single scene and every single thing. It's just so screwed up. It's just, you know. And here's this one here is an example of the pretty lousy CG. Oh, wait a second. I got my ad thing on there. Hang on just a second. Hey, just a second. Do we have ads playing? Okay, no, I got 10 minutes yet. Okay. Yeah, somebody remind me if I forget that ads are playing. Did they have a $5 budget? No, it's about $150 budget, I think, or $100,000 budget, $150,000, something like that. And that's for everything, right? $150,000 or something like that for the whole movie. And they what this company does is they shoot like a couple movies a month or whatever. They put out tons and tons of movies. And it's so all these actors are just getting, they are a member of the, SAG-AFTRA union. So they got to pay them union wages or whatever for acting, but that's still very low. It's, you know, a couple $100 a day or something for acting or whatever. So it's, you know, it's not, they just get whoever they can get for the acting. So here's this little kid. They're hiking through the snow or whatever, and this little kid, you know, goes out on the snow and goes off a cliff here. And watch this. Oh, here's another thing. They were, before this part here, they were on. They're on camels. They're supposed to be on camels here, and they were. They actually had live camels in this thing. So they did that. They weren't CG camels. They were real camels in the snow. Totally. So see, there's the foot of the camel. But look at the CG as this kid goes off the cliff here. Watch this. And the edit. There he is. There, it's just, you can tell it's just drawn in there, you know. This little thing. And it doesn't match up, you know. Here he is at the top, right? And he's like all the way down here, and then they edit, they cut, and he's back up at the top again, you know. It's just really bad. And then they all ended up going down that cliff. Looks like the pyramid. Yeah, maybe it was. I don't know. It was just a cliff that they just come across, you know. Then they come to another cliff. This is a rocky cliff that they apparently have to rappel down, or they use a winch from a truck, you know. And they tie the winch to everybody one by one and lowered them down this cliff. And a couple guys made it first, and then the woman goes. And when the woman goes, then this happens. Watch what happens when the woman goes. He's free falling. Yeah.
Back on, okay? Back on! Back on!
Look at the CG truck going down the So the guy, it's all CG. It's lousy CG, and it's edited so that the timing is all wrong and everything. So this guy tragically gets. There's a guy in the car that gets killed, and this guy gets killed. Two guys get killed from this truck falling off. Very dramatic thing. Huge moment, right? Oh no, two of our guys just got killed, and it was a terrible accident. He got smushed, right? So watch how the actors play this, how the characters react to this, how upset they are and everything. Watch this. This guy really is upset, right? Because his buddy got killed. Now watch the other actors, though.
Tell everyone to wait here while we check out those lights.
Okay, Dad.
Okay, hey, all right, no problem. Not a big deal. All right, it's like he didn't react to it at all. It was like he just didn't care at all. He just, all right, go around and go do your thing here, whatever. So that's, and I don't know. I see that a lot in really low budget films where the characters are not reacting properly, and that is directing. That's not the actors. The actors were told to do what they're doing. So that's just the direction or whatever. That's of the thing. If they had a director on this, I don't even know. Oh, okay. Here's where they're hiking around, right? They got a lot more people now, and they're at a dam, right? This big dam here. Now watch what happens here.
That is the Trafalgar Dam. The Red Sea and the evac point are on the other side.
They must have been shuttling people across, and then abandoned it when the storm got bad.
The valley wall is just 50 meters over there.
It is just through the... Oh! Aftershock?
Let's get the truck out. That's not an aftershock.
And they're all just standing around as the dam is cracking. It's like, what are you doing? Okay, real funny. So this is right. That's not going to happen. You're not going to have water this deep, and this huge big body of water is not going to be frozen solid like that. It's just stupid. Plus, they're all standing around. The thing starts cracking, and they're just standing around watching it, like they're And finally, the guy, the protagonist, has to tell everybody to run. Watch this. Watch what happens here.
Damn.
I can believe that.
Oh.
Tariq, did you hear that?
Yes.
What are you whining about?
Everybody up the valley wall.
It's like what? The dam's about to break, and everybody says, "What do we do?" Finally, the guy says, "Hey, you got to run." Peekaboo says, "If it were cold enough to freeze all that, they wouldn't be alive." Yeah, I think you could go all the way down to absolute zero and it wouldn't freeze. It's silly, that it would freeze that deep. And we've had around here, right? We've had below 0 Fahrenheit every day for a long time, and it hasn't gotten up past the teens. And if I went out on the lake or on the river here, Connecticut River or something, it would only be it's not that deep, That's pretty funny. Another thing that bugged me about this is they had this woman say this line. Here, let me play this again here. Shoot, let's see here.
Tariq, did you hear that?
Yes.
What are you whining about?
See, she says, "What are you whining about?" Nobody was whining. Nobody said anything. She just came out with that line. Let me play it again without my mug on here, so you can actually see it.
What are you whining about?
See, there's nobody was saying anything when that happened. So they put that in there as, I don't know, just to make her look bad or something. I don't know what, why they did that.
Everybody up the valley wall.
Remember this whole thing
So
started
everybody
from...
runs. Okay, now this is later on. This scene here is when they're in a, they find a cave, okay, and they're going through the cave and they got lost. I don't know what's going on. But they eventually get to this part where there's some water here. And I'll just play it and then I'll explain to you what happened, why it's screwed up. You probably noticed right away why it's screwed up.
Volcanic activity. And we're going to a warmer area. The water is warm.
Push this.
I feel in the air.
Stop!
Hammer.
All right, we got ads here. All right, I got ads playing. I don't know how much of that. I think I only missed a few seconds of it or whatever. Yeah, waiting for ads. Yeah, if you're on the VOD, just, you know how it works, right? If you're on the VOD, just skip over this part. Okay, I think the ads are over now. They should be over. All right, I'll play this thing again here because this is. All right, well, you saw that part, right? And then they get into the cave here. So this is the part where they're in the cave. I'll play this again because the ads were in there, and I don't know how much you actually saw. So I'm going to play it again.
Dad, remember this whole thing started from volcanic activity. And we're going to a warmer area. The water is warm.
Push this.
I feel in the air.
Stop!
Hammer.
Okay, so what's stupid here is that they, she just looks at this water, and first of all, it's just a puddle of water. You know, there's nothing. And then they cut to that part where they're sliding down a tunnel or something. Where's the tunnel here? There's no, you know, you'd have water just rushing through here, and it's not a, you know, there's nothing there.
The water is warm.
Of course it is.
I feel it in here.
That guy's acting was kind of messed up there too.
Stop.
Amber.
So where is the rushing water that they're going into here? They're just jumping into a puddle or a pond there, and then all of a sudden they're in this tunnel. So that was screwed up. So the whole thing is just really screwed up, and they end up at the other end of this tunnel or whatever. They finally come out to where there's no snow. It's warm again. She has X-ray vision. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. How that, because it wouldn't be like that. The water wouldn't be still like that, or you know what I mean. She said, oh, the water's flowing, but they showed a picture of it and it wasn't flowing, you know. So that's it. They end up at the end of the thing. They end up getting rescued. You know the whole thing, right? Yeah, expected. But it's just this whole thing is just really now. Asylum has made some good movies, or you know, I think are decent, not good, but you know, pretty good movies for low budget films. You know, they have done a few good ones. If you guys ever heard of Sharknado, that was one that kind of caught, you know, people. Just the title, right? It was about sharks that there's a tornado, and it sucks the sharks out of the ocean and dumps the sharks into the city or something on the streets, and the sharks eat everybody inside the city. So that's Sharknado. And that one just got a cult following, and it was a big deal, and that was a big winner for them. But this one was a big loser. This one doesn't even have a Wikipedia page on this one or anything. This one's really bad. So yeah, it's not recommended unless you want to just you know look at bad movies and see what not to do if you were going to make a movie or something. You know, I don't know. But they a couple things on the credits here that I thought was kind of interesting. I mean, you look at this. They've got all these people. You know, the first and second director, and you know all these different things. And then they got another location here. They got another unit in Los Angeles. You know, and I think they have another one in another location too. No, I guess not. So then they have the cast. Look at this pretty big cast, right? I mean, how do you get all these people to work for, you know, and pay them all for $150,000? I don't know how you do that. And then they credit the background people. That's unusual. It's unusual for. Let me show you here. So they got the director here. They got multiple directors. They've got an LA unit and another unit, and you know, it's just I don't understand how they do all that in this big long cast of characters. And then they credit the background characters. Background is when they used to be called extras. It's like when you see a scene and the main character or whatever are talking to each other, and then in the background somewhere somebody will walk by or whatever. Those are all actors, you know, that are walking in the background and stuff, and they're called background. They used to call them extras. Now they call them background. And so normally those people don't get credits in a movie, but in this one they credited them. And look at all these people that are background on this thing. I think what may have happened is they just didn't pay them, you know, and they said, oh, we'll give you a credit in exchange or something. But this studio does belong to the union, you know, and all that. So I don't know how they did that. But yeah, but they credited the. Oh, here's the post. So color online editor, assistant editor. Let's see if they got ADR. Yeah, Foley. I didn't hear any problems with Foley, with the sound effects and stuff like that. Too bad. Visual effects artists. So those are the guys who. They whoops. But to be fair to these people, they're these, you know, they're not given the resources and the time and everything like that to do it right. I'm sure they just have, you know, old computers, you know, and they're working on, you know, multiple movies at the same time, and just, you know, this I think this is how many. Somebody said they had 12. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that's their entire the entire studio right there. That's all the CG artists in the entire studio, I think. Somebody said that anyway. Maybe they have more now. This is 2014. And then there's another thing that's kind of interesting here. Okay, so we got background, visual. So yeah, here's the Yankee Air Museum. So that's right, Yankee Air Museum. So what did they, you know, that must have been the interior of the airplane when they were did that, I'm guessing. And the railroad scene. I didn't show you the railroad scene. That got lost. I wanted to show that to you, but it got lost when I was when I redid it. And the USS Iowa. It was the aircraft carrier. And then they had a scene of an oil refinery. That was at Coke Ranch, I think. You've probably heard of them, Coke. They were they're big oil people, so I suspect what happened here, because this whole thing was kind of about it's about Jordan and the Arab Peninsula, and there's a lot of stuff that might relate to oil and stuff like that. So I think maybe possibly, I'm just guessing here. I don't know if it's true or not, but maybe somebody, you know, who gave financial backing, you know, wanted a movie like this to be made, or influenced it or something, you know. I don't know what message they were trying to say about Jordan and about oil and all this, but it was kind of in there, you know, a little bit. So not really sure. Let's see what else they have here. Oh, the locations. Let's see, they got the locations here. Yeah, these are the locations. So it's the same, almost the same list here. U.S. Steel. Park. Detroit. So maybe that's where they did the snow stuff. Was in Detroit. Oh, they got two different railroads. Look at that. Interesting. Okay. Gravel pit. You know, these are Detroit Airport. So the airport scenes were done at Detroit Airport. So that's where they got the snow around the planes. Probably was there, right? Courtyard Marriott. So that's where when they were supposedly in. Here you go. Sorry. So Courtyard Marriott is where they were supposedly in Egypt. Remember that scene that I showed you, and they had the pyramids and everything in the background. Gravel pit, Coke Ranch. So there's the aircraft carrier and the museum. So they had quite a few different locations that they did, but it looked like they just got favors and stuff like that to get it done. So so pretty funny. All right. Let's see here. All right, so that was my movie. Yeah, obviously it's not. Oh, I know what. Usually I do. How they did representation, right? How they did on representation. They did okay. They had all of the main protagonists were white, and then the only person of color that came in he kind of came in later. That was the Jordanian guy who got the airplane and all that. And he was portrayed well, right? He was portrayed as somebody who was well-to-do or had connection or whatever, rich father or whatever, and he helped the protagonist and stuff like that, So that was good. But they had they only had one black person that I could see in the whole thing, one black character. That was this guy here. And he came in a little bit before this, and he had maybe, I think, less than 10 lines maybe, or not a lot of lines, more than a bit part, but he wasn't. This scene right here was his main scene right here. This is where he did his. The rest of the scenes he was just not very much talking or hardly showed him or anything. So that was his big scene. It's another thing I noticed about black people. A lot of times they will cover up black people's eyes with something, with sunglasses, or with like if you start Star Trek: The Next Generation, Geordi, he had his eyes covered up. A lot of movies will do that for some reason, and I think it's because. I don't know. I would only guess, but it's just something that happens a lot, I notice. And it's not, people's eyes are like their soul or whatever, when you look at somebody's eyes or whatever, they're like, that's when you see that they're, have feeling or connection or whatever with somebody through their eyes. So I think that might be why they do that. I don't know. It seems like it's something that's racially biased to me, because they do it a lot with black people. They put something over their eyes so you can't see their eyes. But overall, I guess it's 2014. I've seen worse in that time period. So, but it's still. They did have a black person. He did have a few lines, but he wasn't like a main character or anything. He wasn't even like a main supporting character. He was like a minor supporting character. So it's But anyway, that's I haven't done normally when I do a review, I try to pick one that is a pretty good movie. I don't like to do bad movies, but this one is really, really bad. So I decided to do a bad one. Plus the title, right? Age of Ice. I just thought that was apropos for the time here. to have a movie called Age of Ice. So, all right. I can't think of anything else here. So let me give shout outs to everybody who was in here. Oh boy. Let's see. Chan, I already gave a shout out to. Let me give a shout out to E-Room. And a shout out to Peekaboo. Peekaboo Draws. And who else was in here? Oh, Sydney was in here. Sydney AKK Coco. And Chan, I give a shout out Chan. Make sure I got everybody here. Sydney Chan, Peekaboo, E-Room. Okay, I think that's everybody. So everybody follow everybody. I think everybody already follows everybody anyway. But just in case somebody's watching on the VOD or whatever and they discover this somewhere, we covered everybody there. All right. And let me do my wrap. You can, give me a follow on Twitch. Give me a follow on YouTube. If you like movie reviews or science, I do a lot of different stuff. So, but you probably found this through a movie review. If you like movie reviews, you can give me a follow. Every once in a while, I'll do a movie review. All right. I think that's it. Do I have to... I don't think I have to do any credits here. I'll just put the credits into the description. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. Oh, I just blew through an ad. That's okay. I think everybody's lurking by this point anyway. All right, I think we're done. I don't think there's anything else I've got to do. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I probably should do that. Let me put that in here. Box. Yeah, that's okay. I'll just put it in the description of the video. All the credits and stuff. I have credits for all the stuff that I do. The music and all that is all. God damn, I should put it here though. Let me see here. Document window. All right, let me do this. Hang on just a second. This will take just a second here. All right, documents. Okay. All right, this is the last. This is the credits for the last stream, but it's got the stuff in there, so this is good enough. I think this will work. Player desktop. There we go. All right. There we go. Okay. Can you see that? Is that readable there? Got that. All right. So now I'll just scroll through this document, and that should have all of my credits on it. This stuff isn't right here. This isn't the right stuff. But the rest of this here is all the credits. So I'll just scroll through this, and that puts my credits into the actual video here so everybody can see it. All right, that's it. those are my credits. All right, I guess that's it. Everybody, thank you for watching. Oh, should I raid somebody? I got 5 people here, but I don't think they're actually watching. Yeah, let's see here if I can raid somebody. Oh, E-Room's out there. Okay, I'll raid in. Oh, that's where everybody went. Okay. I can raid everybody into E-Room. They're already there. Let's see here. Oh wait, I got E-Room on here twice. How's that? That's kind of weird. Oh, this is kind of weird. I think everybody's already there. I'm not gonna. That's silly. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed my movie review. I might be able to stream again tomorrow. It's about 10 degrees in here right now. It actually stayed pretty warm in here through this stream. So that was good. I was worried about that. It's minus 15. It's minus 15 Celsius outside, almost minus 16, which is like just above zero, like 2 or 3, 4 degrees above zero or something like that. So pretty cold outside, but inside it's nice toasty 10 degrees. So I might be able to stream tomorrow. It's supposed to be even warmer tomorrow, so maybe I could stream again tomorrow. I'll figure out something else to stream about. All right, everybody, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Take care. Bye.